Hi, everyone. Good morning. Hope you're well. So first of all, I'd like to request you, can you please type in the chat box if you can hear me properly? Then I'm going to start the class because I'd like to make sure the sound system works properly. So if you can hear me properly, please type in the chat box. Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining today. And this is the second class. Woo, right? So before starting the class, I'd like to remind you something, and I'd like to recap the last class. What do you have learned? And I'd like to congratulate you who submitted their homework. Right. So the first question is, how are you today? Type in the chat box. I'd like to see your comment, and I'd like to acknowledge that. And then I will jump into the class. So first of all, please type in the chat box and let me know how are you today. Okay, now I can see your comment. Right. So how are you today? Type in the chat box. I'd like to see your answer. I can see a lot of comments. Zabir Ahmed said, doing great. Nurul Haq said, I'm good. Nurun Ridna said, great. Zabir Ahmed asked me, how about you? I'm really good. I'm really great to be here. So Adriza Kaim said, Alhamdulillah, all are good. Okay. Masum Tushar said, yes, I'm here. Okay. Imtiaz said, I'm good. Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding. So I'd like to start this class with a story. And I think this story will help a lot. So, please type in the chat box if you have got some ideas about the skydive, right? So someone said, one day I'd like to go for skydiving. And he was talking about the skydiving and all that stuff to his friends. And all of a sudden he said, hey, yeah, next week I'm going for a skydiving, right? And all of a sudden, when the day is approaching and he's getting scared, oh my God, I'm gonna fly to the plane and I'm gonna jump from the plane like 10,000 square feet. It's really scary, right? And anyway, so he promised to his friends, he shared it with his friend that he's gonna do the skydiving, and he's going there. And all of a sudden he's inside the plane and the instructor said, are you ready? And he said, can I go last? He said, no, this is your turn. You should jump in from the plane right now. And the parachute and everything, and the instructor is with him as well. So he said, I think I'm gonna die if I jump from here, right? He was really afraid of jumping from the plane. And all of a sudden, the instructor, he was feeling that if he doesn't push him from the back, he's not gonna jump. And however, the instructor is always with him as well. So what he said, okay, now we're gonna jump, ready, 3, 2, 1, and then he pushed from the back, and then both of them, they jump from the plane. So that was the experience from skydiving. So now, when I told you that you got to give a presentation, and for some of you, it seems pretty much like a skydiving, right? You are really scared, you are really afraid. Should I take the phone? Should I record it? Should I upload the video? However, after considering all sort of things, who jumped in, who recorded the video, who uploaded it in the Facebook group, I'd like to say congratulations one more time, because I know it's scary, but now, after jumping from the plane, so he was feeling really great. And I think you feel something like that as well. After giving the presentation, you feel, okay, now I'm related, right? I think I can speak English. So you are having some sort of confidence from now on. So let's recap. So I told you the course is all about learning, practicing, and presentation. So in the class, I know you learn so many things. You practice a lot, but if you don't give a presentation, that means you are not doing skydiving. So I would like to recommend you, and I'd like to encourage you that please give your presentation every single day. So now I'd like to ask you, how many of you have done your presentation, the fast presentation? Can you please type in the chat box fast, 1ST, fast. I'd like to see how many of you really just gave your presentation, fast presentation, regardless your, scarcity and all that stuff. So please type in the chat box fast. Type in the chat box fast. I'd like to see how many of you have given the fast presentation. KK fast presentation DSN, please type in the chat box fast. Okay. The second thing I'd like to share with you is now, a lot of students, they are thinking, well, right now I am in such a situation. Can I improve it? I do understand, because I was in that position. And probably by this time, my father was a high school teacher and my mother was a primary school teacher. And being a son of school teachers, it was really difficult for me to even imagine studying at the UK university, right? And probably I studied Birmingham City University in international business. It was a big jump, right? However, if I can do it, why can't you? যদি আমি such a situation থেকে আজকে এই পর্যন্ত আসতে পারি, so I think there is no issue for you to improve yourself, develop your English, and jump into for the better opportunity. So the first thing you got to do is you got to believe in yourself, and number two is you need to work on it. You need to work on it. And the last thing I'd like to share with you, you'll be able to speak English. You got to follow two things. Number one is commitment. So can you please type in the chat box commitment? I'd like to see how many of you are really committed 100% that whatever it takes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to stick to this 12 days speaking challenge. And let's see, my teacher promised me that if I follow him, if I listen to his instruction, and if I practice, if I give a presentation, I'll be a better speaker. Let's prove it, right? So I can see a lot of comments here, and a lot of students gave presentation. So Imtiaz, thank you, Imtiaz. Russell, thank you. Shumon Nilay, thank you. Mirza MD Sadman, thank you. Ima Chaudhary, thank you. Nurun Ridna, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you all. So yeah, I was really excited. I was really pumped to see your presentation. Though it is a very small presentation and we practice a lot, but you made it, right? So the second thing is, please type in the chat box committed or commitment. So I'd like to see how many of you are really committed. So there are two things you got to follow. Number one is commitment. You got to be 100% committed. And the second thing is you need to find a mentor who has been through this process, who has achieved what you want to achieve. Okay, let me explain to you in Bengali. আপনাকে যেটা করতে হবে সেটা হলো নাম্বার ওয়ান, আপনার 100% কমিটমেন্ট থাকতে হবে, and নাম্বার টু ইজ আপনাকে একটা মেন্টর খুঁজে বের করতে হবে. মেন্টর মিন্স who can guide you, teach you, and would be with your journey, right? So that's the phenomenal thing you got to follow. So now I can see you are 100% committed and you got me somehow, right? So there is something, and that's why you found me. And you are in the class. I was not supposed to see you in the class, and there is some sort of reasons. That's why you're here. So, we are in the right time, in the right place. So all you got to do is you got to trust on me and you got to follow me, whatever I'm saying. Now, today, I'm going to share with you a great news, right? And the great news is after finishing this class, you will be able to speak in English 80%. I repeat, after finishing today's class, you will be able to speak in English 80%, whatever you want to speak. So please type in the chat box 80%. I'd like to see how many of you really want to speak 80%, whatever you want to speak. 80%, right? You'll be able to speak 80%. I'd like to see, please type in the chat box 80%. 80%. So just finishing today's class, you don't have to learn about the grammar, you don't have to practice, you don't have to do anything. Just after finishing this class, you will be able to speak 80%, whatever you want to speak. So if you follow me, please type in the chat box 80%. Okay. Okay, Aminur said, inshallah. Sarwar said 80%. Sadia Nur said 80%. Ratul Ghosh said 80%. Diza Karim said 80%. Okay, yeah, type in the chat box 80%. I'd like to see how many of you would like to speak, whatever you want to speak. And today is going to be 80%. Okay, so before going to the next class, just I'd like to remind you what we have learned in the last class. So the last class was all about the be verb. And I told you, if you'd like to become something, we use be verb. If you'd like to, express, how your feelings, we use be verb. And if you'd like to express where you are right now and where are you yesterday, where you will be tomorrow, then you can use be verb as well. So I'm giving 3 examples. So for example, I want to be a teacher of millions of students. So that's why I can say my future plan is to be a teacher of millions of students, right? And I can say I'm really excited to share it to a lot of things. So I said I'm really excited. So I'm excited. So this is the feelings I'm sharing with you. And we can also say now I'm in UK, right? So this is the place as well. So we use be verb for 3 things. আপনার অবস্থান এবং কি হতে চান, এই 3টা জিনিসের জন্য আমরা be verb ইউজ করি. So we have done this in the previous class. Today's class is all about subject plus verb. So can you please type in the chat box S plus V? I'd like to see how many of you are following me. Please type in the chat box S plus V. S means subject and V means verb. Subject plus verb. This is the thing we're going to follow and we're going to practice. And after that, you will see, you'll be able to speak 80% whatever you want to speak. This class is very, very important. So make sure you take a lot of notes, you respond me on the chat box and you follow me, you listen to me 100%, right? So your focus has to be here today. Excellent. So I can see a lot of comments here. Jabir Ahmed said S plus V. Purnima Alam said S plus V. Aminur Rashid said S plus V. Rajumullah said S plus V. Okay, subject plus verb. That's the only thing we need to know. Now, next thing is, can you please type in the chat box? Still, if you can remember, what are the subjects? Just type all the subjects. I, we, you, they, he, she, it, Tony. Right? So just write down all the subjects in the chat box. I'd like to see still if you can remember. I, we, you, they, he, she, it, Tony. So we use this sort of subjects, every single day. And let me explain to you. So I used you twice because one is singular. You means tumi ba apni, and the other one is plural. Tumi, you means apni othoba tomra othoba apnara, right? And we use he for male and she for female. Amra purusher jonno he use kori, mohilader jonno she use kori. And we use Tony for a name. For example, it might be Rohim, Korim, whatever, right? So for a name, we use Tony. So please type in the chat box. I can see a lot of students, they are typing in the chat box, right? So Azhar Alam said I, we, they, he, she. Okay, so I'd like to see who has written all the subjects. So Jabir Ahmed said I, we, you, they, he, she, Jabir. Okay, Jabir, thank you. So Rimon said I, we, you, they, he, she, Tony. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Please keep typing. I'd like to see still if you can remember what are the subjects are. Thank you for responding. So now what I'm gonna do, I will just pull out my presentation and we're gonna go through it, right? So can you please type in the chat box, what do you mean by verb? Type in the chat box, what do you mean by verb? Verb means, type in the chat box. Verber mane ki? So please type in the chat box. What do you mean by verb? Quickly, please type in the chat box. What do you mean by verb? Okay, I can see a lot of students. Okay, so Shumon said Kriya, Aminur Rashid said cars. Shamim Ahmed, okay. Jabir Ahmed said the work. Bolina said activity. Shahana said do. Asma said work. Sadia said work. Okay, excellent. You are right. You are right. Can you please type in the chat box? Verb means action. Verb means action. Please type in the chat box action. Verb means action. I'd like to see how many of you. Okay, verb means action. Please type in the chat box action. Okay, thank you. Thanks for responding. So I can see a lot of comments right now. So verb means action. Thank you for responding. So now, this is the example of the verb: speak, learn, listen, watch. So these are the typical examples of a verb, right? So now, if I just put the structure, then see how does it look like. So subject plus verb. So all are the subjects under the subjects. So I, we, you, they, he, she, it, Tony. And the verb is speak, right? So if I'd like to make a lot of sentences, then I would say I speak, we speak, you speak, they speak, he speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks, right? Sometimes we make mistakes. We say I am speak, right? This is a wrong sentence. You got to tell I speak. There is nothing between subject and verb. So I speak, we speak, you speak, they speak, he speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks. So this is how we're gonna practice. And just I'd like to explain in Bengali as well, so that you don't miss it. So আমরা যখন একটা সেন্টেন্স তৈরি করতে যাব, তখন আমাদের দুইটা জিনিসের দরকার, একটা হলো সাবজেক্ট আর একটা হলো ভার্ব। এর মাঝে আপনাকে কিছুই দিতে হবে না। আপনি যদি কিছু দেন, সেটা আপনার হবে রং সেন্টেন্স। অনেকে আপনারা ভুল করে বলেন আই অ্যাম স্পিক, ইউ আর স্পিক। দিস ইজ এ রং সেন্টেন্স, রাইট? কিছুই হবে না, শুধু সাবজেক্ট আর ভার্ব। যদি আপনি সাবজেক্ট এবং ভার্ব দিয়ে সেন্টেন্স তৈরি করেন, তাহলে এইভাবে তৈরি করতে হবে: আই স্পিক, উই স্পিক, ইউ স্পিক, you speak, they speak, he speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks. So আমরা he, she, it, Tony যখন এই চারটা সাবজেক্ট চলে আসবে, তখন আমরা একটা s সাউন্ড ইউজ করব। speaks, he speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks. Are you clear? If you are, please type in the chat box clear. I'd like to see, right? I repeat. So if you'd like to make a sentence, you need two things. Number one is subject, number is verb. Number two is verb. So if you just would like to make some sentences, you got to follow this structure. I speak, we speak, you speak, they speak, he speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks, right? So you shouldn't put anything between subject and verb. If you put, then there's going to be a wrong sentence. All you got to do is you got to follow this structure. That's the first thing. Second thing is, you need to consider when you get this sort of subject like he, she, it, Tony, you need to add a sound. You need to add a sound. So I'm going to ask a question to you. So if you get the subjects he, she, it, Tony, what do you need to do? Type in the chat box, please. আপনারা যখন সাবজেক্ট পাবেন he, she, it, Tony, আপনাকে কি যোগ করতে হবে? Please type in the chat box a sound. I'd like to make it very, very clear to you so that you don't make any mistakes regarding this. And this is the very basic structure. You got to know it. If you don't understand it, you will suffer a lot. You will struggle a lot. You'll make a lot of mistakes. So that's why, please type in the chat box a sound. যখন আমরা সাবজেক্টের সাথে he, she, it, Tony পাবো, যখন সাবজেক্ট হিসেবে ইউজ করব, তখনই আমরা কি করব? a sound ইউজ করব। speaks, 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 right? A sound. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Thanks for responding. Sarah said it's a sound. Just said a sound. Shami Muhammad said a sound. Excellent. Thank you. That's what we need to do. Now we're going to make a lot of sentences. And this is the challenge. We're going to make all the sentences using only one breath. And the reason we're going to practice this way, a lot of you, I mean, you complain that I don't have the fluency. How are you going to get the fluency if you don't speak English a bit faster, if you don't practice a lot, right? So that's why we're going to follow this structure and we're going to make a lot of sentences. And so I'm going to show you how to make sentences. And after that, you got to make all the sentences, right? The challenge is in one breath, we will make all the sentences. This is how we're going to make. I speak, we speak, you speak, you speak, they speak, he speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks, right? So how many sentences I took? Only one. And now my question to you is, how many sentences you got to take? How many breaths you got to take to deliver all the sentences? Type in the chat box 1. Quickly, type in the chat box 1. Just 1, right? Thank you. Thank you for responding. So just 1. Type in the chat box. So এক নিঃশ্বাসে আমরা সবগুলো সেন্টেন্স তৈরি করব, right? Ready? So when I say go, just you need to make a lot of sentences with me, right? So 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. I speak, we speak, you speak, you speak, they speak, he speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks. Type in the chat box if you have done it. So how many sentences you made? Please type in the chat box. I'd like to see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If you made 9 sentences, please type in the chat box 9. I'd like to see how many sentences you made within a breath. এক নিঃশ্বাসের মাধ্যমে আপনারা কতগুলো সেন্টেন্স তৈরি করেছেন? Type in the chat box. So if you made 9, please put 9. If it 8, please write 8. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for responding. Now I'm gonna change the verb here. So I'm gonna put practice. Right. So I can see a lot of students, they have made already 9 sentences. Excellent. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you for responding. So now we're gonna practice with practice, right? So I practice, we practice, you practice, you practice, they practice, he practices, she practices, it practices, Tony practices, right? So this is your turn and you got to make 9 sentences within one breath. Are you ready? If you are ready, please type in the chat box READY. Ready? যারা যারা আমার সাথে প্র্যাকটিস করার জন্য রেডি, খুব কুইকলি চ্যাট বক্সে কমেন্ট করে জানান রেডি। So this is how we're gonna practice. I practice, we practice, you practice, you practice, they practice, he practices, she practices, it practices, Tony practices, right? So now I know you are ready. Ready? So you need to practice with me. 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. I practice, we practice, you practice, you practice, they practice, he practices, she practices, it practices, Tony practices, right? So I can see a lot of students are ready. And now if you made 9 sentences using the verb practice, please type in the chat box practice. I'd like to see how many of you made 9 sentences using the verb practice. Okay, thank you for responding. Thank you. So then we're gonna start with learn. L-E-A-R-N, learn. So this is how we need to practice. So I learn, we learn, you learn, they learn, he learns, she learns, it learns, Tony learns, right? So this is how we're gonna practice so that we don't have to remember where I'm gonna add s or not. So it's gonna come automatically in our mouth, right? We don't have to think a lot whilst you are making sentence. If you practice a lot and if you really practice a lot, then it's gonna come automatically, right? যদি আপনি অনেক বেশি প্র্যাকটিস করেন, আপনাকে ভাবতে হবে না কখন আপনি এস সাউন্ড যোগ করবেন, কখন করবেন না। প্র্যাকটিসের মাধ্যমে আপনার এটা অটোমেটিক্যালি চলে আসবে। সো লেটস ডু প্র্যাকটিস। আমরা এখন প্র্যাকটিস করব, রাইট? সো যখন আমি বলবো গো, you need to make these 9 sentences using learn. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start loudly. So I learn, we learn, you learn, they learn, he learns, she learns, it learns, Tony learns. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. So now we're gonna go a bit farther. So I have already explained to you. So he speaks, she speaks, it speaks, Tony speaks, right? He learns, she learns, it learns, Tony learns. He listens, she listens, it listens, Tony listens, right? So আমরা জানি যে যখন আমরা থার্ড পারসন সিঙ্গুলার নাম্বার পাই তখন আমরা ভার্বের সাথে এস বা ইএস যোগ করি। So I think this is the thing clear. Just all you got to do is you got to practice it and you got to keep it here while you are speaking. So this is the very, very important structure. So now, first of all, I'm going to ask you a few questions. So what do you do in the morning? Please type in the chat box. Give me 3 actions. What do you do in the morning? Very quickly. Give me 3 actions. What do you do in the morning? For example, me, get up, take breakfast, and conduct the class, right? আমি যে 3টা জিনিস করি, সকালবেলা ঘুম থেকে উঠি, ব্রেকফাস্ট খাই, then ক্লাসে জয়েন করি, ক্লাস করাই। So what are the 3 actions you take when you get up in the morning? আপনি কোন 3টা কাজ করেন যখন আপনি ঘুম থেকে উঠেন? Please type in the chat box. Don't give me the whole sentence. Just I would say phrase, like 1 or 2 words. So for example, get up, take breakfast, conduct the class. So what do you do? Okay, 3 actions. Please type in the chat box. কোন 3টা অ্যাকশন আপনি করেন প্রতিদিন ঘুম থেকে ওঠার পর? Please type in the chat box. So 3 actions, not 1, not 2, 3. Okay, let me read some comments. So Aziz said, I recite the Holy Quran, I perform the namaz. Excellent, Aziz. I'm looking for another action. So 3 sentences. Okay, Shami Ahmed, well done. He said, get up, evolution, and then go to, I'm not sure what you said, go to bash. Okay. Aziz said, wake up, brush my teeth, and take breakfast. Excellent. So Zabir Ahmed said, take breakfast, perform Fajr Salat, and walk on the road. Okay, excellent. Purnima Alam said, namaz, breakfast, and study. Okay, so perform namaz, take breakfast, and study. So bar, 3 actions, right? 3 actions. Asma said, get up, morning walk, take breakfast. So you can say walk in the morning. Okay, next one is Sarah said, get up, namaz, study, breakfast. Okay, excellent. Keep typing. So what are the 3 actions you do in the morning? Please type in the chat box very quickly. So Pritisha said, bath, breakfast, and go to college. Okay, excellent. Thank you for responding. Shamsul Riman said, get up, take my treat pressure. I'm not sure what you said. Ahmed Mahfuz said, wake up, pray, salat, and breakfast. Okay, so give me the 3 actions. What do you do in the morning? Very quickly. Okay, got it. Thank you. Thank you for responding. Thank you. Ratul Ghosh said, get up, take breakfast, drink water. Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, what do you do in the morning? So now I will give you 30 seconds to think. What are the 10 activities you do in the morning? Not 1, not 2, not 3. 10 activities you do in the morning, right? Just think. What are the 10 actions you perform in the morning? So then what are you gonna do? You're gonna practice these kind of verbs, and then we're gonna practice with this. So 10 activities. What do you do in the morning? Right? 10 activities. Just think. Don't write. Don't say. Just think. Okay. Now, so these are the 10 activities I usually do in the morning. So I say, get up, brush teeth, make breakfast, have a cup of coffee, get ready for office, drive down to the office, arrive at office, start working. So these are the 10 actions I do, right? So you probably do a lot of actions, but I would like to know 10 actions, what do you do? And how we're gonna do? We're gonna practice it. How are we gonna practice? We're gonna practice with this structure. Subject plus verb, right? So subject plus verb. So I get up early in the morning, then I go to washroom, then I take brush and brush my teeth, and then I leave washroom, and then I go to kitchen, I make breakfast, then I take breakfast. Once I finish my breakfast, then I take a cup of coffee. I love black coffee. in the morning. Then I take shower, get ready for the office. And usually I drive down to my office. It takes 35 to 40 minutes. And once I arrive there, then I just go to the office and I talk with my team leader and other colleagues as well. Then I start working. Did you get me? So all you got to do is you need to say, what do you do in the morning? So who can do this? Please type in the chat box. Yes, I can. All you got to do is you need to put subject I, then I get up, I make breakfast, I go out, I drive down, I take bus, I take a cup of coffee, I start working. Did you see? Just I, then just put the subject, actions, whatever the actions you do. So if you can do it, please type in the chat box. Yes, I can. Excellent. Thank you for responding. So I can see a lot of students are saying, yes, I can. So we're going to practice that. So 10 activities in the morning, right? So what do you do in the morning? So, okay, got it. Thank you. So now the next question I'm going to ask you, what do you do in the afternoon? Type in the chat box. So give me 3 actions. What do you do in the afternoon? So please type in the chat box 3 actions. What do you take in the afternoon? What do you perform in the afternoon? So for me, I take a break around 1:30 o'clock. Then I take my lunch and I take rest for some time. Then I come back to my office. So these are the 3 or 4 actions I do every single day in the afternoon. What about you? What do you do? Type in the chat box. আপনি প্রতিনিয়ত দুপুরে কি করেন? কোন 3টা কাজ করেন? So সেইটাই আমাকে chat box এ লিখে জানান. So type in the chat box. So what are the 3 actions you take in the afternoon? I'd like to see your comment. I'd like to see. Okay, let's see. What do you do in the afternoon? I'd like to see your comment. Type in the chat box very quickly. Okay, so we're gonna make a lot of sentences using what is called this structure, subject plus verb. So okay, Shamim Mama said perform your prayer, take lunch, take rest. Okay, excellent. Jamil Sudri said I read newspaper. Okay, Jamil, that's the 1 action. You got to tell me 3 actions. What do you do? Right, Adija said take bath, do prayer, take lunch. Excellent, thank you. Saifur said I play, I go to mosque. Okay, Saifur, I'm looking for 1 more action. Fazlul said I go to home, take lunch and rest. Excellent, excellent, Fazlul. So Zamil said I take break. Okay. Chinmoy Das said I read books, gossip with my friend, and I take shower. So Tomoy, you can say I chat with my friends. So gossip means backbiting, right? Karo ninda kora. So I'm sure you don't do this, right? So gossip means backbiting. So instead of say I chat with my friends, so Asma said take break, bath, take lunch, take it. Excellent. So I take lunch, copy and namaz. Okay, excellent. Nurun Ridna said take rest, take snacks, play with baby. Okay, excellent, thank you. So you know what you do in the afternoon. So if you ask me, usually I do this sort of things. So I usually take lunch, take break, rest, then start working, leave office, go to tea stall, take a coffee, then drive down home, return home, refresh myself, watch TV for some time, and then attend 12 days speaking challenge, something like this, right? So now my question is, what do you do in the afternoon? Just think. Don't write, don't speak, just think. What are the 10 actions you do in the afternoon? What are the 10 actions? Just think, just think. So all you got to do is you need to put I, then verb. So I take lunch, I take rest, I start working, I leave office around 5 o'clock, I go to tea stall, I take a cup of tea, or I go to cafe shop, cafe, I take a cup of coffee, I drive down, I return home, I refresh myself, I watch TV for some time, and I finish my homework. So this is the thing you got to say, right? So I know you can do it. Now we're gonna go a bit further, right? So what do you do in the evening? Give me 3 actions. What do you do in the evening? আপনি বিকেলবেলা কি কি কাজ করেন সেগুলো থেকে আমাকে 3টা কাজের কথা বলেন, right? So please type in the chat box, what are the 3 actions you take in the evening? I'd like to see. I'm really excited to see, right? Very quickly, please type in the chat box, what are the 3 things you do in the evening? Very quickly. Very quickly. Very quickly. Okay, and I'd like to give you some sort of information. So I know a lot of students here, they would like to study abroad, whether in United Kingdom, Canada, or USA, right? And that's why a lot of students, they don't know that much information. So what are the requirements you need? Where should you go? How to make application? How to make visa application? And once you get the visa, what should you do? How to book a flight and all that stuff, right? And how much is the tuition fees? Which course you should do? I know you have got loads of questions in your mind. So what if we take a class regarding this information? We're going to deliver all the information to you. You're going to take notes. And if you have got any questions, you will be, you will have opportunity to ask my team, and they will answer you one by one. And so, are you really excited for this class? If you are really excited, please type in the chat box excited as well. So আপনারা অনেকেই আছেন যারা ইউকে, ইউএস এবং কানাডায় পড়াশোনা করতে চান। আপনাদের মনে অনেক কোশ্চেন আছে যে পুরো প্রসেসটা কি, কত টাকা লাগবে, টিউশন ফি কত, কোন সাবজেক্টে যাব, ইউনিভার্সিটি কিভাবে সিলেক্ট করব, আমরা ইংলিশ রিকোয়ারমেন্ট কি থাকবে, এই সমস্ত ব্যাপারে যদি আপনি অনেক কোশ্চেন থাকে আপনার, আপনি যদি ইনফরমেশন নিতে চান, সেই ব্যাপারে আমরা আপনাদেরকে একটা ক্লাস প্রেজেন্ট করব। সো সেই ক্লাসের ব্যাপারে আপনারা কতটা এক্সাইটেড? I'd like to see if you're really excited. Please type in the chat box excited. Okay, so by this time I'm gonna read some comments. So Saifur said I teach some students. Okay, excellent, Saifur. Aziz Khan said I hang out with friends, go to visit with friends, to your garden and play with friends. Okay, excellent. Take my Asr prayer and do some work in the office and make some fun with colleagues. Okay, Shumanila, excellent, excellent. So Shivli Rabbani said I perform prayer, after that I watch TV. Excellent, excellent. So Adriza said I do prayer, eat some snacks and start studying, right? So Adriza, thank you. It would be start studying, right? যখন দুইটা ভার্ব পাশাপাশি থাকে তখন একটার সাথে আইএনজি বসিয়ে দিবেন। So okay, a lot of students, they are saying excited. Thank you for your comment. So I'll let you know in advance, so don't miss that class. So once you get all the information, then just you need to apply it, and you'll achieve your goal. Let me tell you something, what happened to my life, because the information is very, very important. I used to teach in a language center, and I was really happy. I was delivering a lot of things to my students. All of a sudden, my what is called, one of my students, he said, would like to join our company. We have got a vacancy, it's called assistant manager in HR. I said, yeah, I love to join there, because I love to build my career in that sort of sector. And the company was really renowned one. I sent my CV, and after sending my CV, then I received a call from their HR manager, and they said, you don't have an MBA. I said, yeah, that's right, I don't have an MBA. I studied history from University of Chittagong. And he said, no, this is our company policy, you got to have an MBA, otherwise we can't recruit you for this position, right? So I was really shocked, right? আমার একজন স্টুডেন্ট বলছিল যে তার কোম্পানিতে আমি জয়েন করব কিনা HR ম্যানেজার হিসেবে। HR ম্যানেজার থেকে কল পাওয়ার পরে তারা আমাকে জিজ্ঞেস করলো, আপনার তো MBA নাই? আমি বললাম, না, আমি তো হিস্ট্রিতে পড়াশোনা করেছি। দে বলছে, নো, আমাদের কোম্পানির পলিসি হলো আপনাকে অবশ্যই MBA থাকতে হবে। দেন my student, he was very loyal to me. he said, why don't you get an MBA from outside? If it is, I don't mind if it is cheap MBA as well. And you know what he means by that. So I didn't like that idea. I said, okay, if you'd like to do an MBA, I'll do from a renowned institution. So I was looking for like BRAC University, North South University, and all that stuff. And what I found is, if I add some more money with this investment, then I can study abroad and I can get my MBA. So আমি যখন রিসার্চ শুরু করলাম যে ভালো একটা ইউনিভার্সিটি, ফর এক্সাম্পল ব্রাক এবং নর্থ সাউথ থেকে পড়তে, এমবিএ করতে যে পয়সা খরচ হয় সেটার সাথে আমি যদি আরেকটু কিছু যোগ করি, তাহলে আমি বাইরে থেকে একটা ডিগ্রি নিতে পারি। and you know the demand of first world countries degree. So then I started asking questions to my students. আমি কি করলাম, আমার যারা স্টুডেন্ট আপনাদের মতো যারা ইউকে, ইউএস এবং কানাডা যেতে চায়, তাদের কাছে কি করলাম, আমি কোশ্চেন করা শুরু করলাম যে কত টাকা লাগে, কি লাগে। So all of a sudden one of my students said, today there is a seminar, would like to join, is happening in the evening, right? একজন স্টুডেন্ট আমাকে বললো যে আপনি তো আমাকে অনেক কোশ্চেন করেন, আজকে একটা সেমিনার আছে, আপনি জয়েন করবেন কিনা? I said, yeah, sure, I don't have any class in the evening. So সেমিনারে গেলাম, so having a diary with me, and I started taking notes. So সেমিনার সব ইনফরমেশন দিল, কি ইউনিভার্সিটিতে, ইউকের ইউনিভার্সিটিতে পড়াশোনার জন্য কি করতে হবে, কিভাবে ইউনিভার্সিটির সিলেক্ট করতে হবে, কোর্স সিলেক্ট করতে হবে, কোন কোর্সে টিউশন ফি কত, all the information they gave me, right? যখন ইনফরমেশন গুলো সবগুলো পেলাম, then there was a session, it's called Q&A, question and answer session. So I raised my hand and I asked, can I get my money back, right? আমি কি করলাম, কোশ্চেন আনসার সেশনে আমি হাত তুললাম এবং জিজ্ঞেস করলাম তাদেরকে যে আমি কি আমার মানি ব্যাক পেতে পারি কিনা। and there was a weird question, কোশ্চেনটা ঠিক ছিল না। So he said, gentlemen, I'm not sure what you mean by that, can you please repeat that question? I said, okay, I didn't mean that. I said, my tuition fee that time was 9,250. So after finishing this course, can I work and can I save money and can I get my investment back? And I said, okay, now I do really understand your question. So তখন সে আমাকে যেটা বললো, so this is called PSW. Please type in the chat box if you heard the word right. PSW. That PSW means post study work. PSW মানে কি হলো? Post study work. So he said, once you finish your course, you can apply for PSW. Basically, this is 2 years full-time work permit. And if you work there, and if you save like say 1,000 pounds every month, at the end of the 24,000 pounds, that's equivalent to 30 lakhs. So I said, wow. And that moment I made the decision, I'm going to fly to the UK. And I know probably I got to borrow a lot of money from my relatives, parents, and all that stuff, but I can give them back. Because I know at the end of the course, I'll get full-time 2 years work permit. That's called PSW. And just, I can do it, right? So there are a lot of students here like me, right? As I was from lower middle class family. আমি যেরকম নিম্ন মধ্যবিত্ত পরিবারের সন্তান, আমি জানি আপনারা অনেকে এই জায়গায় আছেন যারা even to think it takes a lot of courageous, right? যে আপনি বিদেশে পড়াশোনা করবেন, এইটা চিন্তা করতেও আপনার অনেক অনেক কষ্ট হয় যে কিভাবে আমি এটা করব। But believe me, if you get ready, if you are focused, you'll be able to get it. So what happened next is, my mom, she was a primary school teacher. So I requested her to give some money and she took out some money from her pension pot. Primary school teacher কি করতে পারেন, পেনশন থেকে অ্যাডভান্স কিছু টাকা তুলতে পারেন। So she gave me 3,000 pounds. I deposit to the university and I know if I fly, I will manage everything, right? That was my belief. So university কে 3,000 pound আমি ডিপোজিট দিলাম, ভিসা হয়ে গেল। আর ভিসা হয়ে গেলে কি হয়, you know that, right? If you get visa, you know what happening. So if you ask some money to someone else, they will say yes because he got the visa from United Kingdom. So then my dad, he borrowed some money from my relatives as well. I flew to the UK and I worked 20 hours per week during the term time, and during the holiday I worked full time. I saved some money, I paid the tuition fees, and then I jumped into post-study work. Then I saved so much money, I give the money back to my relatives, and you know where I am, right? So why I'm telling this story is not to impress on you, it's to impress upon you. আপনাকে আমি এটা শো অফ করার জন্য বলতেছি না, আপনাকে মোটিভেট করার জন্য বলতেছি যে আমার মতো একটি ছেলে যে প্রাইমারি এবং হাই স্কুল টিচারের সন্তান, সে যদি ওই জায়গা থেকে এই জায়গায় চলে আসতে পারে, আপনি কেন পারবেন না, right? So it takes a lot of courageous, takes a lot of brave, but you got to be committed. Okay, you got to be committed. Now I'd like to share with you something very important as well. So why I have chosen United Kingdom, right? So যখন আমি বাংলাদেশে ছিলাম, right, I was reading a newspaper and I have seen, you know, the currency rate. At that time the currency rate was £1 equal to 117 taka. Please type in the chat box, £1 equals 117, right? Please type in the chat box, £1 equal 117. So I was thinking, how can I make more money? How can I earn more money, right? And all of a sudden, when I saw the newspaper, I said, £1 equals 117 times, right? And I couldn't believe my eyes. And I said, that means if I go to the United Kingdom and if I earn £1, it's going to be 117 times. Wow. So if I earn £1,000, just think about this. How much money? Probably a lot of employees in Bangladesh, they can't think that they're going to earn that much money, right? So £1 equals 170 times. That changed my whole life. I said, I got to change my country. So if you just change your country from Bangladesh to United Kingdom, you change your earning rate 117 times. Don't you understand? Do you think I'm smart? No. But I need to ask question to myself. So the same thing you got to do. You got to ask a question to yourself, right? So আপনি যদি প্রচুর টাকা কামাইতে চান, আপনাকে 2 নম্বরই করতে হবে না, ঘুষ খেতে হবে না. You can earn it honest way, right? So that's the thing. £1 equal to 117, right? So how many would like to earn money in pounds? Type in the chat box pound. আপনারা কারা কারা আছেন যারা টাকায় না, রুপিতে না, pound income করতে চান? Please type in the chat box pound. Just pound, right? So now we're gonna go a bit further. So these are the actions we take in the evening, right? We get together with family, take some snacks, help to cook or cook, take dinner, read books, chat with family members, take a look on tomorrow's plan, then get ready to sleep and go to bed. That's the thing. What do you do, right? So now I'd like to take you some bit further. So these are the things you do. So now if I ask you a question, what do you do in the morning, afternoon, and evening, right? So type in the chat box. Type in the chat box, what do you do in the morning, afternoon, evening? Okay, so now, so we're gonna talk about the morning activities, 10 sentences, afternoon 10 sentences, and evening 10 sentences. So how many sentences are you gonna make? Please type in the chat box. So if you talk about morning, afternoon, and evening, and if you say 10 sentences for morning, 10 sentences for afternoon, 10 sentences for evening, so how many sentences you got to make? Type in the chat box. How many sentences? Let's see how good you are at math. Right, so Jamil, you failed in math. Adriza Karim, no, not 10 sentences, it's 30 sentences. Jahura, thank you. Abdul said 30. Shumon Nilay said 30 sentences. Fazlu said 30 sentences. Excellent, thank you. That means you got me, right? So we're gonna make 30 sentences together, right? So are you ready to make 30 sentences? Please type in the chat box, ready. I'd like to see how many of you are really ready to make 30 sentences together. Quickly, very quickly. So just type in the chat box, ready. We're gonna practice these 30 sentences together. So type in the chat box, ready, R-E-A-D-Y. We're gonna jump into this practice session. We're gonna practice a lot so that we can speak more. Okay, so Syed Ashikur Rahman said ready. Shumon said ready. Adija said ready. Sadia said ready. Okay, Zahura said ready. Okay, thank you. So this is how we need to practice. This is the presentation. So you got to present yourself like this way. Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Habib, and today I'd like to share with you what I do every day. I repeat. Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Habib, and today I'd like to share with you what I do every day. First of all, I get up early in the morning, then I brush my teeth, make breakfast, and then take a cup of coffee. And after that, I get ready for office. And then I go downstairs and start my car. I drive down to office. It takes 40 to 45 minutes. Once I arrive at office, I take another cup of coffee and then I start working. In the afternoon, I do a lot of activities. And first of all, I would say I take lunch around 1 o'clock. Then I take rest for some time. Then I start working. I leave office around 5:30 or 6 o'clock. Then I usually go to tea stall and get a cup of coffee. Then again, I start driving. I return home around 6:30. Then I refresh myself. Then if I have time, I watch television for some time. Then I attend 12 days speaking challenge, and then I finish my homework. Once I finish my homework, then I give a presentation to the Facebook group. And in the evening, I usually get together with my family. I take some snacks, and then I help my wife to cook. Then I take dinner, I read books, and then I chat with my family members. Then I usually take a look on tomorrow's plan if something is urgent. Then I get ready to sleep and I go to bed. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening. So the starting is, hi everyone, good morning. This is Habib. Today I'd like to share with you what I do every day. So then you start. And at the end, you say, thanks for listening. Can you do that? If you can, please type in the chat box. Yes, I can. I'd like to see how many of you would like to give a presentation. You got to say 30 sentences. You're going to start, you're going to finish, right? So how many of you would like to do that? So now we're going to practice right now. So once I say go, you need to practice with me. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Let's start. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Habib. Today, I'd like to share with you what I do every day. First of all, I get up early in the morning. Then I go to washroom. I brush my teeth. Then I make breakfast and then take a cup of coffee. Yeah, keep going loudly. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. Okay. Okay. Someone said it's better if it is. Let me see if I can do it. So yeah, I think it's a bit bigger font right now, so you can see. Thank you. Thank you for asking. Right. So keep going. Keep going. Give me 30 sentences. Right. Keep going. Keep going. বলতে থাকেন 30টা সেন্টেন্স। Okay, so now can you please type in the chat box how many sentences have you made? আপনি কতগুলো সেন্টেন্স তৈরি করেছেন? Please type in the chat box. How many sentences have you made? Quickly, please type in the chat box. How many sentences have you made? Is it 30 sentences? Is it less than that? Very quickly, please type in the chat box. How many sentences have you made? Okay. So Adrija said 30. Shumanila said 25. Nurul Haq said 30 sentences. Adrija Karim said 30. Ratul Ghosh said 30. Okay, thank you. Thank you for responding. So all you got to do is, this is your homework, right? So this is how you're gonna build up your vocabulary as well. So once you finish this class, take pen and paper and just think about this. What are the 10 activities you do in the morning? Probably 20 activities you do in the morning, right? Then what are the 20 activities you do in the afternoon? Then what are the 20 activities you do in the evening, right? So, make a list. So put the actions, put the verbs. So আপনাকে যেটা করতে হবে সেটা হলো ক্লাস শেষে আপনাকে কাগজ কলম নিয়ে বসতে হবে এবং আপনাকে লিখতে হবে আপনি সকালে, বিকালে এবং রাত্রে কতগুলো কাজ করেন সেটার একটা লিস্ট তৈরি করেন, right? So if you don't know the English word, then search Google Bengali to English. আপনি যদি অর্থ না জানেন তাহলে কি করবেন, গুগলে গিয়ে সার্চ করবেন Bengali to English. আপনার বাংলা ওয়ার্ডটা লিখবেন, ইংলিশ ওয়ার্ডটা চলে আসবে। So then list like 50, 60 actions what you do every day, right? Then practice. Then শুরু করেন যে আপনি এই যে 60টা অ্যাক্টিভিটিস আপনি প্রতিদিন করেন সেটা সম্পর্কে একটা প্রেজেন্টেশন দেন। কিভাবে প্রেজেন্টেশন দিবেন আজকে আপনাকে আমি দেখালাম। বাসায় আপনাকে যেটা করতে হবে সেটা হলো এটা প্র্যাকটিস করতে হবে at least 10 times, right? So আপনি যখন এটা 10 times প্র্যাকটিস করবেন, প্রেজেন্টেশন দেবেন, এরপরে আপনার মধ্যে একটা বিশ্বাস কাজ করবে এবং আপনি প্র্যাকটিসের মাধ্যমে সেটা অ্যাচিভ করবেন যে কিভাবে 80% কথা বলতে হয়। আপনি যেই সম্পর্কে, যে কোনো কিছু সম্পর্কে কথা বলতে চান, আপনি 80% কথা বলতে পারবেন আজকে এই ক্লাসের পরে। So dear challengers, what I was saying in Bengali is, all you got to do is you need to take pen and paper and you need to write down 50 to 60 activities what you do in the what you do every day. And then once you make a list, then make sentences. For example, first of all I get up early in the morning, then I brush my teeth, make breakfast, right? So make sentences and then give a presentation. And once you give a presentation, just count down how many sentences you made. If it is more than 30 sentences, is still good. If you don't make more than 30 sentences, you got to practice like this way, right? So this is your homework. So now, if you have got any questions, please type in the chat box. I'll answer it. যদি আপনার কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকে তাহলে আপনি চ্যাট বক্সে কোশ্চেন করতে পারেন, আমি আপনাকে আনসার করব। So this is the homework, is what do you do every day, right? So you got to tell us more than 30 actions, practice it 10 times in front of the mirror, upload your video in UK study visa, right? So once you do that, then that means you have finished this, right? So that's the thing you got to do. And if you finish this 12 days speaking challenge, you will get a certificate like this, right? So how many of you would like to get certificate? Make sure you upload your presentation every single day, right? So don't wait for the last minute that, okay, I'm going to do the class and one day I'll make all the presentation, then I'll give it to you and upload it. Don't do this. Do it every single day. The way I told you, the way I instruct you, you got to practice in this way and you'll be able to speak English fluently, right? So if you have got any questions, please type in the chat box. I'd like to answer you. Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up. So I'll see you tomorrow. So I'm gonna give you 2-3 minutes to see if you've got any questions, and then we're gonna leave. So I know a lot of you would like to get this certificate, so make sure you upload your homework, right? So what do you think at the end of the 12 days speaking challenge will be winner or loser? So if you attend all the classes, if you practice with me, and if you give 12 presentation, that means you're winning this challenge. And if you're not winning, that means you're losing this challenge. So please type in the chat box, are you winner or loser? Type in the chat box, please, very quickly. Winner or loser? Winner or loser? Type in the chat box, are you winner or loser? So what do you think of yourself? Winner or loser? Type in the chat box. I'd like to see. Okay. I think there are some sort of students, even I think they are scared of saying winner or loser because they don't have that much confidence. You got to raise up your confidence, right? And if you're confident, you can achieve almost everything, right? So you got to be very confident. Fozlul said, obviously winner. Thank you. Radul said winner. Purnima said winner. Sma said winner. Kazarul said winner. Anwar said winner. Purnima said winner. Nisha said winner. Rajumullah said I will win, inshallah. Ahmed Mahfouz said winner. Okay, excellent. Thank you. Yeah, I do believe that. I do believe in yourself as well, right? So you must be a winner. Okay, before finishing this class, I'd like to remind you something. Please make sure you upload your homework and you watch 10 more videos and you comment them. Excellent, well done, keep it up, something like this, positive vibe. Try to do that because we need some positive people. And you have got a bigger community, like 15,000 people over there. So if you just support each other, just passing a comment that you have done really well is going to change someone's life, right? আপনি যদি কাউকে একটু প্রশংসা করে বলেন যে আপনার স্পিকিং প্রেজেন্টেশনটা খুব ভালো হয়ে গেছে, সেই ব্যক্তিটি আরো ইন্সপায়ার্ড হবে, মোটিভেটেড হবে সবগুলো প্রেজেন্টেশন দেওয়ার জন্য, রাইট? সো ডোন্ট থিংক অ্যাবাউট দ্য মেকিং মিস্টেকস। এই পর্যায়ে আপনাকে ভাবতে হবে না যে আমি ভুল করতেছি কি করতেছি কিনা। নো, ডোন্ট থিংক অ্যাবাউট দিস। At the end of this 12 days speaking challenge, you will know almost everything. And if you make any mistakes, you will know it, right? So don't think about the mistakes. Just keep going, keep going, keep going. And also, I'd like to tell you, if someone make a comment to your Facebook presentation, reply them, say thank you. Thanks for your inspiration. Thanks for your motivation. But it's something like this. You give a salam, and the person is not answering your salam, right? So if someone is replying, give a comment, reply them, right? যদি আপনি ফেসবুক গ্রুপে কোনো কমেন্ট পান, সেটা আপনি অবশ্যই রিপ্লাই দেবেন। যদি রিপ্লাই না দেন, জাস্ট থিংক অ্যাবাউট দিস, একটু চিন্তা করেন যে আপনি কাউকে সালাম দিয়েছেন, সেই সালামে সে আনসার করে নাই, তার মানে কি ইউ আর ইগনোরড, রাইট? আপনাকে ইগনোর করা হচ্ছে। সো ডোন্ট ডু দ্যাট, প্লিজ মেক শিওর ইউ রিপ্লাই। And we have got a very, very, I would say, family, community, positive community, like-minded community. You need this, right? So that's why make sure you upload a video and watch 10 videos and pass comment, inspire them. And this is how you'll be inspired as well. So thanks for joining today's class. Make sure I'll see you in tomorrow's class, right? Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.